Talk to us about what Upside Youth Mentoring is.
Yeah, so it's an early intervention organisation. So we're a charity that basically we've worked with partner schools. We've been around since 2006. We used to be called Brothers in Arms, but we changed the name a couple of years ago because people assumed Brothers in Arms, therefore it's just boys. But in fact, we work with boys and girls. So what happens with Upside is that our partner schools refer a child, someone who's had a bit of a rough patch, and the teachers or the principals who works with them can just see the direction they're going. So it's not so much an ambulance at the bottom where we're dealing with youth offenders. It's more we can see the trajectory. So the kids are like on the top of the cliff looking down. And what we do then is we interview them, interview their families, make sure that they're all keen for it and happy for it to go ahead. And then we go about finding a volunteer mentor who meets with them once a week for at least a year. And they just do, we talk about holding space. So they do simple things like walking the dog, kicking a ball around, baking a cake and stuff. So it's about journeying with a young person and helping them to feel a bit brighter and better about themselves.
Very cool.
Do you need cake making skills to be involved?
Sometimes it's even better if you don't, because that takes some of the great adventure. There's nothing worse when it's like, well, that didn't work.
How do you qualify as a volunteer mentor?
Well, we have a really rigorous selection process, but it starts with breathing. Literally anyone can be a mentor. We have university students, so that's the first start. Is you need to have finished high school at university or university age. And then the other part is literally just want to make a difference. We have, like I said, university age students. We've got a 72-year-old who's going on 50 that mentors.
Very cool.
Because the great thing is the kids are so different, and it's important to have so many different people that can make a difference to these kids.
What's the scope of the organisation? Like how many schools or how many kids are you working with?
Yeah, so we work with 9 to 13-year-olds. That's when we start. So that's that. Well, psychologists talk about how that's when their values are starting to form in concrete. So that's our starting point for that age. So the early intervention side. We work in South Auckland and West Auckland and the Shore, and we have partner organisations around different parts of the country as well. So we have about... as I do some maths now, about 7 schools currently with us, but we've got a couple more coming on stream that are really keen. So we're trying to get more mentors to fill those guys up. And we can be working with anything, like this year we're looking at it, working with around 110, 130 kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
awesome.
I mean, it's such a cool thing to have an organisation like yours walk side by side with some of these kids who are finding things challenging. Is it a bit of a challenging space in the world that we live in here in Aotearoa at the moment? Are you seeing an increase in needing more mentors?
Oh, absolutely. Look, I used to be a teacher, and I taught at low decile schools, as we used to talk back then, and about private schools as well. And the one thing that I can safely say is that the problems are straight through all schools. All the kids suffer problems. The problem is that when you have that society's pressure that's there, it impacts kids from a lower socioeconomic much more, because they don't necessarily have the capacity or the support that's around them to be able to work through those problems. And so one of the really special things we see is that the mentors are able to just be ordinary Kiwis, ordinary people from sometimes around the world that are staying in New Zealand. They just walk with these kids and they talk about how their life's just totally changed. And it's hard. Like we were talking with the principal early this year, and they said that explaining some of the issues that have been happening. And what I used to see with year 10 students, so like 14-year-olds, she was saying there's a 9-year-old who's self-harming at their school now. So it's all the problems that were happening have moved so much earlier, and it's really hard on primary school teachers that are trying to deal with those issues.
Talking about these kids, so you work with 9 to 13-year-olds, this key sort of age of where I guess people are starting to really form who they are, their value system, and you get through schools, kids who are starting to head off on a dangerous path or going a bit of the wrong way, and hopefully trying to turn that around a bit by pairing them up with a mentor. What are some of the misconceptions around youth mentoring or even around these kids that you see in people quite often? Yeah,
so a lot of people assume it's the parents' fault and that the parents don't care about them. And the first thing we always say in our training to mentors is that 99.99%, just about all our parents, actually genuinely love their kids. They genuinely want the best for them, and through different circumstances, sometimes they're trying to deal with their own adverse childhood experiences that they're facing or the challenges that they're there, but they want the best for their kid, and that's why they're interested in the program.
Some people might be intimidated that they're not good enough to be a mentor. You know, so because I'm listening here thinking, man, I don't know whether I'd be up for it.
You second guess yourself in your own family.
Oh,
You're like, am I doing this right? I don't know about trying to help out some other kid.
Exactly.
You know.
So, do you? What sort of support do you provide? Emotional support do you provide the mentors in this space?
Well, see, first up, we actually are more concerned about the people who think they've got everything together and they're coming to save the world. Because they're the ones that are going to try and change the kid and push their values on.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're about. What we're about is holding space for those young people to help them feel brighter about themselves and thriving in there. So what we do is, it's not here's a kid, we'll see you in 12 months, bye. It's literally, we have a lot of touch points. So we have regular interviews with the mentor and the family and the young person. So that way they know that there's anything that they can bring up, and we're in contact with the mentor just about every month.
Sweet.
Either be by text or phone, and so they can, anytime they come up. Like, we had a situation yesterday where a mentor was concerned about some stuff happening, and so one of our mentor coordinators went and caught up with them and had a chat and gave them some training tips or tips how they can deal with it and where to go from there. So there's a lot of support, and that's part of what I love about it. It's not just a off the thing now, that's done. Good. Here we go, tick, don't we feel better about that? It's actually, we engage with the mentor as much as the kids and family.
I know this is sort of an odd question because this is a person that we're talking about. You know, these are people living their lives. There's no like, oh, it's finished or it's done or anything like that. It's not like you're building a fence and then it's completed at the end of it type job. But there must be some amazing stories that you come across or that you get to witness or journey with that really get you going and remind you of why you do it, right? Can you share to that?
Yeah, how long do you have? So, we always talk about it's a journey, not a race. You'll never find that absolute moment of like, my job is done, beam me up, Scotty.
I finally gave him the right quote and then it just changed everything. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Exactly that. It literally is like, sometimes there's that perception thinking, I'll fix this easy. But where we saw it, like someone I know, one of our mentors, they were like myself, an ex-teacher, and they had a 10-year-old. At second meeting, he took him out somewhere and they said, let's get a drink. What one would you like? And he couldn't read the menu. The young boy couldn't read. And so he gave me a call, like, I want to do some tutoring with him. Should I offer like some help with his reading and writing and maths? And I was like, hang on, mate, you've just met this kid, like 2 days.
Yep. Yeah.
Just hold space for him, see where it goes. 6 months later, I get a phone call and it's like, you'll never guess what. They'd just been kicking the ball around and he's like, oh, I hate soccer, but it's all right. I'll do that because that's what he wants to do. Yeah. And then at the end of it, he goes, the young person said to him, oh, are you good at maths? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay at maths. Yeah, I can do that. What's up? And he goes, because I've got this really hard homework and could you help me? And he said I spent 40 minutes with him after and he said he kind of got some of it, but he's got a long way to go. He's quite worried about it. And he goes, I said, man, honestly, think about that conversation. If you said to him at the very beginning, oh, I see you can't read and write. I want to fix that. Help me. Let me help you. He would have thought, oh, great, another adult that thinks I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Now he trusts you enough to say, can you help me? And I mean, we all know that if you want to change something, if you ask for help, you're more likely to actually take it in. It's that whole traffic light emotional willingness to learn. So he went from red light or amber at best to green light where I want to learn. Can you help me?
That's such a powerful story. I mean, often, even I'm thinking about these mentors coming into your program thinking that they want to save the world, right? Reset and do all of that stuff. And we spoke about this off here about they're probably getting more out of the relationship as a mentor than they would ever have expected.
Oh, very much so. Like, honestly, Sella, we have so many times when we talk to mentors, they're like, oh man, I worry that I'm getting more out of this than the kid.
I thought I was here to give, but it's me receiving.
So like we see so many awesome like things for the kids where they attend school more, their attendance increases, they tend to have a much more successful approach to learning. And it's not like they're going to become brain surgeons, but for me, that's not the end mark. For me, it's that the kids are feeling loved, they're feeling cherished. And when that happens, they're able to grow and find their place in this world. And for the mentors, it's like they can't believe how much their own mental health's improved by doing it.
I can see
and
that.
so it just because we all want to know we're making a difference, and that's why I took this job, because someone said to me, "So what are you going to do about it?" And we were talking about all the youth suicide and everything like that, and it's really hard to see all that work and to think, what can we do? But one of the great things about Upside is it provides an opportunity for an ordinary person who just wants to make a difference to one kid.
Well, you're definitely the right man for the job. Upside.org.nz is the website if you want to find out more. And you're looking for more mentors? Is that the need?
Absolutely. We've actually got a couple of new schools that have just come on, one in South, one in North Shore. And so we're wanting to get more mentors that are prepared to walk with these kids and have it. It's not like a case of you send an email into us, we own you.
Yeah.
I like coffee. My wife would call me an addict. I hope she's not listening, because then she'll be going, how many coffees do I actually have? And I try not to answer that. But it's the case, we'll have a chat with you. We'll work out, let you know what the program's about, and then we'll see if you're the right fit for it. We work really hard to make sure that we get the right mentors, but people are surprised because everyone goes, oh, I'm probably not the right person. But honestly, like I said, that 72-year-old who's going on 50, she is one of the most amazing mentors you could ever imagine. So it doesn't matter about your age, as long as you have finished school and you're able to make a huge difference to someone.
That is so good, man.
You're also a middle-aged man in Lycra.
I'm a mammal.
A registered mammal, and you're doing the, Lake Taupo Cycle Challenge as a fundraiser?
That's right, yeah. So
Youth?
part of the Lake Taupo Cycle Challenge, which is 160 kilometres around the lake, I've got a bit of a team of fellow mammals and a friend who's about to be named an ambassador, or friend, somebody's about to be named an ambassador for us. So we're all raising funds for Upside by doning our wonderful Lycra. A friend said it's not a pretty sport. And I was like, no,
it doesn't have
not.
a lot of positives going for it,
No,
to be honest.
not wearing Lycra, yeah. You try riding in a Peloton when you're facing someone, you don't know where to look. It's like eyes down, eyes down.
Dude, you lost us at Peloton.
Oh, no, I got the Peloton, bro. You get in the front. That's Tour de France we're talking about.
Yeah.
How do you if someone's listening, plugging in, how do we help you out with that?
Yeah, so if they want to sponsor us, they can go to our Facebook page or Instagram or on our website. And there's links in there that they can donate or have a chat with us if they want to mentor.
Well, a great organisation to support if you can financially. And also maybe you are that person that thinks, oh, man, I'd love to be able to do that, put a little bit of me into a young person's life and help out someone who's maybe struggling a bit. Or maybe you even know someone that you're like, they weren't listening this morning, but I was, and I know they would be a great fit.
Absolutely. I was speaking at a church just a few weeks ago, and that's one of the things I said. Feel free to drop someone in it. Go up to them and go, hey, this would be a great thing. You'd be awesome at that. So we all know someone who would be great at that. A lot of the time it can also be a double-edged sword, so be careful. They may ask you to do it as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully you both sign up. Upside.org.nz. You can find all the details there. Donald, thanks so much for coming in, bro.
Sure,
Cheers,
bro.
mate.